What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? This nice Friday, October the 15th. As of this recording, or the time of this recording, whatever is the appropriate way to say that, got a couple things to talk about. So why waste time? Let's jump right into things. Welcome to Brad's Brad Show about games. My name is Brad, and I am not part of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I'm sure you're glad to hear that. And we will talk about that in a little bit. So let's start off as usual with Fortnite stuff. And as we approach Fortnitemares, as far as the Battle Royale goes, we're getting closer. Come this Tuesday or Monday night, Tuesday morning, I guess, we will see the arrival of Fortnitemares to the island, I believe. Fortnitemares stuff already going on. There's some certain game modes available you can play. I guess some that are from the community, and there's stuff like there you can go like that out there that you could do. Personally, not really interested in any of that stuff, but there will be free rewards this year. Again, from what I've seen, not quite as impressive this year, but I think I really like the contrail. There's like a ghostly chain contrail, which looks really cool. But I'll have to see I want to see exactly what we get. We'll find that out. Should be next week. They've been teasing a bunch of stuff. There's a new Drift skin called the Drift Walker, where he's basically a vampire. There's a collab with the artist Cause, I think it's his name, Cause or something like that. I think it's spelled Kaws. The character is a skeleton clown thing or something. I don't know. It's kind of cartoony looking. I don't really know anything about that particular artist, character, whatever it is. I think it's sort of a similar situation to the Gukamon collab, because I think this is a I don't know if Cause is a fashion designer or not, or so much as just like an artist with a character. But I think this is a similar situation. Anyway, I'm still really excited about, at some point we're going to get Shadow Midas. We're also going to get, because remember, Shadow Midas was part of last year's event. People were really, really excited to get him as a skin, and it didn't happen. Looks like they're finally giving it to us. And apparently from the last update, Shadow Midas has the ability where the more kills you get, the more shadowy he gets. So I'm not really sure what that's going to look like entirely, but that will be a really cool thing to have. What else was there? Oh, the Sideways Scythe is supposed to be coming. The Caretaker boss, which is supposed to be one of the Sideways monsters, is going to be added to the game soon. And there will be 3 of them that spawn around the island. And that will be pretty crazy. Supposedly, it says, like, if you kill it, or if it catches you, it'll drag you into the Sideways. So I guess that's going to be the thing. I wonder if... So I guess that would say that it's not in the Sideways, but if it catches you, it will create the Sideways around you or something. That's what I'm assuming. But if you do kill it, it'll give you some really good loot. That'll be an interesting mix-up to the game. What else was there? The cubes. The golden cube has arrived at the center of the map at the aftermath. As people have been pointing out on YouTube, every season the middle of the map changes. This season it did not change. So it seems that what's going to happen is this cube is calling all of the other cubes, except the blue one, I guess, to the center of the map, where it's going to create a cube town. So it will be a POI of all the cubes that were summoned across the map. And that's going to be interesting. As I'm curious as to exactly what it's going to look like and how it's going to work and what will be the point. But it looks like we are going to get a big map change for the center of the map this season after all. What else was there? specifically for Fortnitemares. That will be, I think that's supposed to coincide with the release of the secret skin, which is supposed to be the Cube Queen. I'm curious to see what she looks like. Her silhouette looks really cool by itself, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that's not all the Fortnite stuff we've got to talk about, because there are other things going on in other realities. And it will be highlighted in Batman Fortnite Foundation. And it seems that we finally know what's going on with the Foundation. So if you remember, let's recap the story a little bit about this character. At the end of Season 5, Jonesy summoned the Foundation to the island to deal with the soon-to-explode Zero Point. So, the Foundation could not stop the Zero Point from imploding. So, he instead said that the only way that he couldn't stop it by himself. So, he said that the only way to stop and stabilize the Zero Point was for him to seal himself and the Zero Point away together, along with Jonesy using his teleport rifter. I guess it would reset the thing? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. They didn't really explain what would happen. But basically, it was going to trap both of them in the loop, I guess. Maybe. Or maybe not trap. It trapped Jonesy in the loop. It's what he said he was worried about. But the deal they made was if Jonesy would help the Foundation seal the Zero Point and save it from collapsing, he promised that he would find him. Or that they would help find each other once things were settled. And so they sealed him away. It was presumed that he was there in the Spire through Season 6 with the Zero Point. Then in Season 7, at the beginning of Season 7, the alien invasion occurred and they destroyed the Spire, but apparently they didn't take the Zero Point. The Zero Point at that point was moved somehow below the island, so it should be back where it was, underneath the center of the island. But at the beginning of Season 7, after the aliens destroyed the Spire, at the end of the trailer, we saw the Foundation fall through a rift and land in a body of water. Now, we all thought, at least I did, I think most people did, that he was underwater off the shore of the island. And that's where he was, because he's unconscious. And then, when Season 8 came along, the end of that trailer for the new season showed the Foundation buried underwater. And then he suddenly wakes up. Well, now we know where he's been. It's now been officially confirmed that the Foundation was rifted away to Gotham Harbor. So, when the aliens attacked Battle Royale Island, that created a rift that threw the Foundation out of the Fortnite Island. So he's now he's now in the same universe as Batman. Now, is this the same Batman? I assume it's the same Batman. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I assume this could be the same Batman, the same one that interacted with Jonesy. Maybe that's why he's there. That could be an interesting thing. Because remember, one of the alternate versions of Agent Jones that you could unlock, two of them actually, at some point, Jones came in contact with Batman and got him to give him a utility belt. Because the Batman Zero skin and the last two variants of Agent Jones have the exact same utility belt. So, this Batman could be the same one, but it may be another Batman. Either way, the Foundation is going to fight Batman. But the interesting thing about this is that the first page or two of the comic have been released or leaked already, and there's like a big war brewing between the Justice League and the Legion of Doom when this happens. But while Superman, Wonder Woman, and all the heroes are taking on Luthor and Bizarro and all of the villains, Batman is fighting the Foundation, who pops up out of the water. And I don't think he said anything in the trailer, so I'm curious to see if somehow the Foundation may still be in the... Maybe he's doesn't have his memory or something. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense because I think the loop is actually a copy of the Battle Royale Island or something like that. But the thing is, I want to know what to say. I think this is just going to be a one-shot comic. And there's not going to be a series. It's just this one comic and then that's it. So anyway, I'm glad we're finally going to get to see what's going on with the Foundation. Because I've been wondering, will this tie into the story? Because remember, we saw him while Jones was having a conflict with Dr. Sloan. Dr. Sloan is now doing stuff on the island. Since this season began, Sloan has been slowly making her way across the Battle Royale map. Not too far away from outside of Dirty Docks. Well, she's crossed the Green Bridge, and she's crossed, now, if she hasn't changed her location yet, she should be still at the, right there on the very edge of Retail Row. Just before you enter Retail Row. So, it's like, there's a bridge, and then there's a section of just road, and then you go into Retail Row. She's in between the bridge and Retail Row. So she's heading into Retail Row. It's a lot of times to say Retail Row. Anyway, she's supposed to go through that town, and then she's making her way. The leakers have already confirmed this. They found her route in the files. She's headed to the redacted bunker. Now, that POI has been shut up tight. I think this entire chapter, certainly since I started playing in Season 2 of Chapter 2, it's been nothing. There's been nothing there, and it's been shut at least since then. And I don't think it was even open in Season 1. So we're getting close to the end of this chapter, and this POI has basically just been there. Nobody knows what's going on. But in the comic, no, not the comic. But anyway, the thing is that Batman Fortnite, the series, the first comic book series, ended with Deathstroke, the Batman Who Laughs, Lex Luthor, and Dr. Sloan all in some sort of agreement or plan for something. And then it ends with a rift opening up over Metropolis. So the thing here is, and you can see him in the background here, the Batman Who Laughs is going to be a big, I guess the main antagonist of this Foundation comic. But before we get on, I'll talk about that in a minute. But the thing is that Sloan was in Gotham or Metropolis, I guess that would be where she was technically. But Sloan was in the comic. Is she going to be in this comic too? Because remember, Jones defied the order. He sort of betrayed the order, but they also kicked him out. You know, his job was to stabilize the 0 point. No. His job wasn't to stabilize the 0 point. His job was to keep loopers from escaping. So he brought in a bunch of people. But it seems that like the IO's job was to stabilize the 0 point, and they didn't or something. I don't know exactly what was going on. But Jonesy summoned the Foundation to fix it all. Well, here he is fighting Batman. Now, what is this going to lead to? Because this is different story beats coming together now. Because it seemed before like this was just a side story and nothing really changed much on the island. This time it could. Because if Sloan was at the very end of the last comic, and this comic's going to be about the Foundation, and something else to add to this is the Fortnite official Twitter account said the Golden Cube has arrived at the center of the map. What do you think is going on? What do you think it's going to be up to, or what it is up to? And Donald Mustard said, redacted, and then redacted, and then in all caps, redacted. So typing out redacted 4 times, I think, is a clear sign that something to do with the redacted bunker is going to happen soon. And maybe it's got something to do with this comic. Maybe not. I don't know. That would be interesting if it does, though. But I feel like it's a safe bet now that the redacted bunker is going to be open. It's going to give us a new POI. The water levels at the old Shadow Skull Island, Skull Mountain hideout thing are starting to recede. That POI might open back up. I would like to think it would. Because there's no reason for the water levels to suddenly recede when they've been at the same, they've been super high since season 3. Now suddenly we're in season 8 and they're starting to recede. Like, something's got to be going on there. And, yeah, like, there's a lot could happen out of this, man. I hope so. For a one-shot comic, I hope there's some big changes to Battle Royale. Like, I want to know, like, what is going to happen in this comic. Like, will at this point, the Foundation has got to be coming to the game at some point. He's got to. He's a major character. He's supposed to be the literal, like, I guess the head of the 7. So he's in Gotham now fighting Batman? Like, I don't know. I just want to know what's going to happen. I want to, I hope this leads to in-game content. That's what I really want. But, anyway, that's all I got on Fortnite stuff, except for the fact that, as you could tell from the fact that the Batman Who Laughs is in the background of this comic and will be probably the main antagonist, he will also be coming to the Fortnite item shop. And you can get a code that will come with his outfit and back bling, and an exclusive loading screen, this one right here, you can get in-game if you buy the comic book and use the code from the comic book. So, you could buy the outfit and the back bling in the item shop, but to get the loading screen, you got to get it with the code. So, I'm going to try to find a comic. That way I could get the loading screen too. I guess it wouldn't be a terrible thing if I didn't get it. But, oh well. But yeah, that's all I really got as far as Fortnite is for now. I'm just looking forward to Tuesday. I think people were saying there may be a mini live event to hype up the arrival of Fortnitemares and the creation of Cube Town. But I guess we'll find out. But something that really is funny and worth a laugh. Microsoft apparently is teaming up with Nickelodeon to produce Xboxes that look like SpongeBob and Leonardo. And that SpongeBob, this also is a promotion with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but that SpongeBob Xbox looks so funny because it looks like a direct reference to that episode where he's taking art classes under Squidward and he goes, "I gotta be the marble." And it's so funny. Like, I wish I would get that controller, though. I don't want to pay for a SpongeBob Xbox. Like, I don't need that. Like, I don't need that. Don't really need to. But I gotta admit, it looks cool. I mean, even the Leonardo one looks cool, too. If I had to pick one, I'd go with SpongeBob. But maybe they'll sell the controller separate. That would be really fun. Better yet, sell a SpongeBob Switch controller, since I kind of have a small collection of those going. That would fit my collection a little bit better. But anyway, it's a fun little thing. Just want to throw that out there before we move on to the next big topic, which involves Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and something that I don't really know how to feel about. But the dev team was asked about the possibility of third-party characters, and specifically they asked about Goku. And the dev guy that they had in the interview that I watched that got people excited said, when we first started this, he said, what I tell you is when we first started this thing, third-party characters were certainly not anything we had even thought about doing. It wasn't even an option. Like, we didn't even have the thought of being able to do that, so we never even considered it. He said, but from what I could tell you right now, he said, but what I can give you right now, and he shut up real quick, and he did the, zip your mouth shut and lock it and throw away the key thing. And of course, the person, whoever it was, I think it was Hungrybox, I think is the user's name, the person's name who was interviewing him, got really, really excited. And to me, that answer tells me that they're looking into options outside of your usual, what you would expect from this game. Now, what that means, who knows? Will it come to fruition? Who knows? But the fact that they were asked specifically about characters like Goku, since Dragon Ball Z Kai was on Nickelodeon, and then gave that answer, I don't know if I feel like something's telling me not to get super excited about that, because I just don't think that that's going to happen. Like, as cool as it would be to see Goku in this game, and he's a little more justified here since he was on Nickelodeon at one point, it's not really a Nickelodeon show, but they might have the freedom to do that if they can make that connection loosely enough. Excuse me a second. I had to drink some water. A little bit of water. But yeah, I don't know. It could be that we see Goku in this game, but I feel like Toei is not going to want to do it. And I don't know if maybe I brought this up and people say it may not matter. And it probably doesn't matter, but like Dragon Ball Super is still running on Adult Swim, I think. It's in reruns now, but that might hamper the chances of that happening. It may not, because I think like Bandai Namco, I think it was, released Jump Force without anybody over here needing to do anything. They couldn't use dubbed voices, but that was okay. They still used their likenesses. So it could be that they're like, okay, yeah, we had this show on Nickelodeon a long time ago. People really like it. Let's put Goku in there. Like, I would be fine with that. I still think that they should do Power Rangers, because at least Power Rangers still runs on Nickelodeon at the moment. That seems like that should be a pretty easy thing to do. And then, of course, I think it would be hilarious to put Ryu in there, just because Ryu is a fighting game crossover guy. So those are pretty much my big ones. But like, I just thought it was really bizarre. Like I said, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see Goku in this game. I think the chances of it happening, even if there is a very small chance, I think it's just too small. Like, I have the exact opposite feeling I had where I really believed Sora was going to be the final Smash character, and he turned out he was. In this case, I don't feel that confident that Goku's going to be in the game. I'd love to be proved wrong, because Goku being able to fight SpongeBob would be the best game in the world. I just automatically. Even if that means that they can never put voiceover in it, I'd be fine with that. But the fact that they apparently are looking into third-party characters now tells me just how much more freedom they're getting, or how much more opportunities are there now because of the hype of this game. And the last time I checked it, this is one of the best-selling games across all the platforms. On the Switch, on the Xbox, on Steam. Anywhere you can buy this game, it's like in the top 5 or top 3 sold games at the moment. So they're selling a lot of copies of this game. So if Toei can be convinced that putting Goku in the game would make them some money, I could see them saying, you know what, let's try. But anyway, I thought this was just a fun thing to do. And again, I don't really expect Goku to show up, but who knows? Who really knows other than them? Anyway, I mentioned today is October 15th, and just a little while ago, I got finished watching the Animal Crossing Direct. And this is for Animal Crossing, they called it 2.0, and they're introducing a lot of stuff. They're adding, of course, Brewster to the game. He'll have his little cafe in the museum. You could go see him. A lot of people were missing Brewster, so I'm glad he's going to be there. Capp'n is back. I always loved Capp'n. You know, just the funny little Kappa character who, you know, talks like a ship's captain with the "Arr! Arr, me matey, I'll drive this bus to town for you, out to the big city." You know, I thought that was funny. Of course, I also remember when somebody wrote an article about how sexist he was because he would say that the girl characters were cute. I don't think you can do that in this game because they don't really give you separated sexes or genders in this game. You just have a base character, and then you pretty much just customize the character however you want. So there's not really, I don't think this game has any gender in it for the created characters, for the avatars, villagers. There it is. Technically, they're villagers. So yeah, Capp'n probably won't be doing those same old hitting on you kind of things or talking about how cute you are. But which never really bothered me. I thought they were harmless enough. He's supposed to be a goofy character. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. You can be taken to an island. Capp'n can take you to islands where it's a different time of day than it actually is, a different season than it is. So a lot of opportunities there. They're adding cooking to the game. That could be kind of fun. I don't really play this game much, but I mean, this could get me back into it. More items, more customization stuff. And what else was there? There's an island where all the merchants will gather. So instead of the random merchants who show up on your island from time to time, there will actually be an island where you can just go. And I think they give you exclusive stuff if you go see them. But I think that's everything. Other than there will be some DLC too. There'll be a DLC pack that you can buy. But the DLC pack also is part of Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pack. Yeah, that wasn't quite the smoothest transition into this topic, but at least as I was hoping it would be. But yeah, we now know what the price of Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack will be, and it is going up from $20 to $50. And needless to say, some people were very upset about that because it is more than double the price of what the original service, the standalone service as it was, or the original basic service was. And I feel like I both agree with that and don't really agree with the price, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Everybody expected the price to go up if you wanted the expansion. And I think most people said they were expecting 10. I think I was leaning more towards 20, just to double the price. But I think here what they're going to do is they're going to justify it with the addition of online multiplayer for some of these older games. And I think that's going to be the big thing that sells this. The thing that's going to sell this is partially the N64 library, maybe the Genesis library. I don't necessarily think that that's even the case, because Sega has some free-to-play games on mobile. You can play Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on mobile for free. And I think there's even a Sonic HD or some kind of Sonic Remastered collection that will let you play these games in HD coming soon. I think it's called Sonic Origins. I can't remember exactly when that's going to release. But anyway, I don't think those games are going to come with the rewind feature. They might, but who knows? But at least in this online service, you will have that. And certain games, even in the Genesis game, the multiplayers can be played online with friends too. So I think that's going to be a really big selling point for this expansion pack, is the multiplayer, the online multiplayer, if it's good. If it sucks, then they really should think about bumping the price down. But, I think I'm personally okay with paying $50 a year for this. When you break down the value, it's under $5 a month. But I have to agree to some extent with the people saying this is too much, because, I'm just of the belief that at certain points, like I brought up Sega having free-to-play games on mobile. At what point does Nintendo, or do people does Nintendo really need to keep charging people money to play Super Mario Brothers, the original one, or Tetris, or the original Zelda, or anything like that? Shouldn't they be offering these games just for free with your base service anyway, instead of having to pay for it? I mean, an online service, if they made the original Nintendo Switch Online, or at least the NES and Super NES catalogs, completely free. You don't have to pay for online service to play them. You could just download the libraries. I think that would actually be a better idea overall for this, when they, I guess for the next Nintendo system. Have a ROM collection. It's just for the NES. You can start with the NES and the Super NES, and then maybe go up to the N64. Sell these, like, have these games available just for free download for the people who want them. Or you could keep the catalog version, the catalog style that you have for Nintendo Switch Online, and just make it free. And then if you want the expansion, you pay for that. That would be a little more fair, I think. But yeah, I think that there's a point where Nintendo really needs to start going like, okay, look, we have milked the original Super Mario Brothers for everything it's worth. Let's just give it to people. Let's just give it to people. That'll put people more, that'll give us a little bit more good faith with people if we just give people a few free classic games to play whenever they want for free. And that would be, I think, really something. I think people would be willing to play Super Mario Brothers on the Switch more if it was just a completely free game to have. So, I don't know. I know they're not going to do that. Plus, you know, the portability of the Switch, and you can play these N64 games mobilely online. That's going to be really popular. To play to play Mario Kart 64 online with your friends while you're, you know, waiting for a bus or something, or on the bus, or you're riding in a car with some friends, or you give your Switch to your kid or something and give them something to do. They can play online with their friends these old classic games. That's going to sell. That's going to be the selling point for this thing. Mostly nostalgia and the portability. And I saw some people comparing this to like Microsoft and Sony's Game Pass systems and stuff. And I just don't think that this is built to be the same thing. Like, Xbox Game Pass is more like a big collection of, like, here's a bunch of old and new games, just stuff that we think people will be really excited to play. You know, but it's a nice mix. But I think in this case, Nintendo Switch Online is mostly about, hey, remember this legendary game that was very iconic? You know, this is what, you know, it's celebrating Nintendo's history more than anything else. But a lot of this system is built on nostalgia, and people are willing to pay for the nostalgia. Also, the portability. So you're getting people in two places where it's very easy to win people over, and even somebody like me who thinks that they probably could charge less for this than $50, I'd be willing to pay for it. So I don't know, man. But anyway, but something else that they're justifying this with is that the Animal Crossing DLC pack that's going to get added for that game is going to be part of the expansion pack. Now, if you don't buy the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, you'll have to pay for the Animal Crossing DLC. If you buy the expansion pack, the Animal Crossing DLC is included. So, and I think that's a really good call, considering how popular Animal Crossing was. Because when the pandemic started, so many people were playing Animal Crossing. It was everywhere. It was like their best-selling game at the moment. I think it actually was temporarily the best-selling game on the Switch. So a lot of people have this, and I'm betting they're probably banking on people who already pay for the Switch Online service, $20 a year or however much it is, being willing to pay for the upgrade. Now, I think that if you don't pay for Switch Online and then you want to buy the expansion pass, you may not be willing to jump in from 0 to 50. So, but I bet they're banking on that. Plus, this isn't even out yet. There's only going to be 9 games on the 64, but we already know many of them that are coming. We know Majora's Mask is coming, F-Zero X, Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap. Well, Pokemon Snap, is that one on there already? I can't remember. Anyway, a bunch of good games are coming, but then they also may even dust off some ones you haven't seen in a while, like Diddy Kong Racing. Because remember, the first game Banjo appeared in, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo was a playable character in Diddy Kong Racing, and then he later appeared in Banjo-Kazooie. So, Nintendo may actually dust off Diddy Kong Racing for this service and have it online. That could be a big deal. So, again, you're primarily paying for the you're paying for the nostalgic N64 games, including the ones that will come in the future. You're also paying for the ones that have brand new online multiplayer, which again, like, people are going to be excited to play games like Mario Kart 64 online against people. Like, that's going to be a big draw. And even true with the Sega Genesis games that also will have online play. It's going to be a big deal, and a lot of people are going to buy it just because of the added multiplayer. So, again, they probably don't need to charge $50 for this. It's probably nowhere near worth that much, and they probably could have just upped it $10 or maybe even left it at $20 and then made the rest of it free. Make the older stuff just base free. Free at the base, and make the original Switch Online stuff all free. Make the expansion pack $20 or $30. That would be a better idea. But it's a Nintendo. What can you do? Overall, I still think, though, I'm fine with paying $50 for the expansion. But that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed listening to me talk and rant a little bit. But I'm very excited for all this stuff. This is the first time I think in a while I haven't really talked about anything that was like super negative. This just reminded, I'll just drop this mention here before I get out of here. Apparently Steam is banning cryptocurrency and NFTs from its service. See, some people say that it's only because that would interfere with Twitch's own, not Twitch, Steam's own stuff, or Valve's own sort of in-game currencies or whatever it was. And maybe? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't get cryptos and NFTs. A lot of it just seems like people buying fake stuff. People buying goods that don't exist, or paying for something that doesn't exist with money that doesn't exist. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's more complicated than that. But personally, I just don't care. Like, it's already complicated enough. Like, I still think that, like, stuff like Pokemon Unite, there's just too much in terms of having to navigate all these different currencies in these gacha games and stuff. Even like Fortnite stuff can be complicated, of having to worry about V-Bucks and things like that. So I just think you just gotta I just don't know, man. This stuff just seems so weird. Like didn't Bitcoin crash because like Elon Musk got in like a bad mood one day or something? Like, it seemed like a very volatile system, and I just don't want to fool with it, man. I'm sorry. Not to mention, like, the fact that, like, apparently the way that mining Bitcoins and stuff like that works is literally like just burning through energy to maintain a link to something. You're basically just paying for a receipt to something that you own, when you could already just make an agreement with somebody. It's like people have said, like you could pay for an NFT, or you could pay for a link that says you own this thing, or you could just write up a contract with an artist that says, hey, I own this particular piece of art that you're making for me, or we both own it, or whatever the case is. But it mostly seems like this is a system that's built for rich people to make lots of money off of selling products that don't physically exist. And apparently one of the reasons why Steam also did this is because apparently there are NFTs in video games now where you can go in a game and buy a sword, and you are the only person who can have that sword unless you sell that sword to somebody. Like, imagine if something like Pokemon worked that way, where there's only one Arceus, and if you don't have this Arceus, only one player in the world can have Arceus at the same time. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, I get like the version differences are supposed to encourage trading, which is why you could catch the majority of Pokemon in a lot of these games, but there are some that are unique. It's just supposed to encourage you to go out and trade with people who play the game. But anyway, like, yeah, I don't... Like, it sounds kind of like a cool idea, but at the same time, like, you're just paying for something that doesn't exist, and then you're the only one who can have it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'd rather just get out of that stuff. Like, more people should be able to get content. That's why I've advocated for having, like, if you're paying for Fortnite Crew, like, why not give you the option to go through and buy old Battle Pass skins that you may have missed? You know? Make that a special sale event where you can, where it's like maybe for like a week out of the year or something, or, you know, as a special selection or special section of the shop that only appears to people who pay for the crew, because it's $10 a month. Or maybe you don't even have to be part of the crew to do this. Just it's like a throwback shop that lets you go and buy individual skins from the old battle passes so that you don't have to be without some of them. But, you know, I just think that that's the way games companies should be looking to try to allow people to have more access to content instead of less. You know, even if you have to still pay for some of it, like, that's fine too. But I don't know, just like these in-game currencies and stuff are getting out of hand. And I don't know that I really like the idea that a game has one item that only one player in the entire world can possess at any given moment. I don't know, man. It sounds like too much work. So I don't know. I want to stay away from all the crypto stuff and everything. But that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed listening to me. I think I've already said this before. But be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my other videos. And we will see you next time, depending on, I guess, the next thing that will happen will be the arrival of Fortnitemares to Battle Royale Island. So, thanks as always. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Later.